A federal prison. This call is being recorded and is subject to monitoring. Hang up to decline the call or to accept, dial 5 now. If you wish to block any future calls of this nature, dial 7 now.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Dave. What are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Dave, are you Lonnie's friend?
I'm the one that you sent the letter to. I'm Guy's friend.
Oh, you're Dave Hinkson.
Yeah.
You know, the introduction didn't say it was David Hinkson. I must have misunderstood what the introduction said because there's a recording that comes on before you actually start talking.
I know. They don't care about that here. This is a very liberal satanic coven.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Well, it's good to talk to you, David.
I just thought I'd say hi for a minute. Call you back. People get a 606 number, and it's a lot cheaper. You can make a lot of calls. Guy gets 606 numbers for me.
Okay, yeah, I can get a Vonage or I can get a Google Voice with a 606 number, and I've done that before. You know, get an area code that's local to the prison, so it's not long distance.
Anyway, I didn't know exactly what how you can help, but I'm trying to. I was actually in Russia when they said I did all my crimes here. I had like 10 different alibis, and these people don't care how many alibis you have. Ed Snook was going to try to help me politically, but he didn't get it done, and that fight started, and they firebombed the factory. So
right.
Nothing ever got concluded, you know. My father ran my business like a communist dictator, and he let all these people make the product wrong. They disrespected me, and it was terrible. And, you know, I wasn't about the money. I was trying to help people, and to make the product wrong really offended me.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I'm sorry to hear about your, the fallout with your father. That's heartbreaking. You know, you asked what I can do to help. Actually, David, if you're not opposed to your voice being recorded, not this time, or you tell me what, but I think a lot of attention could be drawn to your case simply by recording your voice and letting you tell your story in your own words and putting it all over the internet and saying, David Hinkson, there's a lot of people that are interested in what prisoners have to say if they think they're political prisoners and unjustly incarcerated, as I believe you are too.
Well, we could give it a shot anytime you want. I could call you on the 16th, and I don't care. They don't care here.
Okay.
I was on Stu Webb's talk show a couple times. He's kind of crazy, that Stu Webb guy. I don't know.
This call is from a federal prison.
The name vaguely rings a bell, but I couldn't place it.
He's on the iHeartRadio network. Type in his name, Stu Webb, and you'll see him. I was on his show like 10 times in a row about 2 years ago. But Stu he's kind of crazy. He screams and yells a lot. He uses foul language.
Okay.
I'm sure he's not doing. Are you actually doing a talk show? Is that what you're doing?
Well, it would be a YouTube video, and I would put it up on LoneStar1776.com, which is a YouTube channel. And it's something that we've done quite a bit in the past. Are you familiar with a man by the name of Dr. Ken Hovind? Hovind, H-O-V-I-N-D. Some people know him as Dr. Dino. He debated creation versus evolution in some of the Ivy League universities, Rutgers, Yale.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
He called me from... Yep, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah? Isn't he a friend of John Wells?
Yeah, John B. Wells. As a matter of fact, I was on John B. Wells the very first show of 2018. I was on John B. Wells, and I spoke for an hour and a half about Schaefer Cox.
Oh, man. I love John Wells. I wish you could get me in touch with him because he's just the guy I really need some help from, and I just want to be his friend, too. I did about 1,200 talk shows in my day, and I was on right after the Bill Cooper show. And Bill Cooper was my friend,
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew Bill Cooper.
Yeah, well, I've read his book, and I didn't know him, but I know of him. Everybody knows that Bill Cooper is very famous, and of course he got shot, and he exposed a lot of truth. There's no doubt about that.
He wrote that book, Behold the Pale Horse, but I was on his show when he was on my show, but I never knew him as a famous Bill Cooper. When I first met Bill, he had the satellite feed, and he had to release it for my show. and that's how I met him.
Yeah.
But, you know, to know Bill Cooper, I love Bill Cooper. Okay, I really did.
Yeah.
But you need to know he had a real aggressive temper. Oh, and he liked to drink alcohol. He could get just so mean and so hateful to people. The reason I'm telling you that, if you didn't meet anybody that knows Bill, they'll tell you that he drank a lot of alcohol and got really angry a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the real Bill Cooper. Yeah, he's a great Christian guy, but yeah, he was very intense.
Yeah. Well, I've heard stories about that, but he did do a lot of good in his day. There's no doubt about it.
Oh yeah, I love Bill.
Yeah.
We were having a fight on the air when I first met him. He didn't like one of my guests. You know, he says, "I don't like these guests. They're federal agents." And I says, "Bill, you don't have to yell at me, man. You know, I love you. We all know who you are. We love you, man. You don't need to call up here and yell. Just you know, tell us what you want to say. You know."
Yeah. Well, no, amen.
John Wells did.
Yep.
John Wells did a lot of videos, you know, on creation. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah. And Ken Hovind, I think, has been on the John B. Wells show too. And Ken Hovind is like, there's nobody that debates creationism versus evolutionism better than Ken Hovind. But I've got a contact with the John B. Wells show. I could probably reach out to them and see if they would be interested in doing a jailhouse interview with you. If you think that would be a
Oh, I would love it. And I'd really love it if you could get me his number where I could just call him and say, "Hello, John." I mean, I've known him for years, and I don't even know if he knows me, but I know him.
Okay.
You know, that's the way it is. I was before his time. I was doing talk shows before he was doing talk shows.
Okay.
I don't know, you know.
Well,
but I just, you know, I would love to talk to Mr. Wells. I would just love it.
Okay.
Man.
No, I definitely will. I've got one email address for his producer, and I can send that out. Let me ask you this, because you know, the conversation we're having now, should that be public, or do you want to keep this first one private?
I don't care if it's public. I got nothing private in my life.
Do you think they're going to take vengeance upon you if you start calling and your phone calls go out? I don't want you to get in trouble from the prison, is what I'm trying to say.
I don't. In fact, I don't really care. I've been sent to ADX for 6 years. I've been tortured. I've had my fingers broken. They've done everything but nail me to the cross, you know. So. Okay. All right. Well, this unfortunately, your story is common. Did you get a card I sent you with other political prisoners that we advocate? Okay, you did. I gave it to a guy named I forgot his name because everybody has alias names here.
Yeah.
He probably sent you an email.
Okay.
Yeah, they call him Ace here, but.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I just FDA targeted me. They targeted Bob Beck too. Bob Beck was my friend. I love Bob Beck. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but they were after him too.
Now tell me a little bit about Bob Beck. I don't know Bob Beck. At least I don't think I do.
Well, one day they came in when we were having a show and I was speaking, and the FDA tried to arrest him, and we hid the man. But he used to be in a wheelchair, and he was very sick, and he used natural medicine, and he made himself well, and he had a degree in medicine, and he was just a heck of a good guy, you know, and he had no agenda except for doing God's work, and I just love this guy.
Wow, yeah, there's a website called bobbeck.com, and it appears to have a picture of him. It sounds like somebody I need to educate myself on.
Yeah, see, here's the deal. I was selling silver that was clear, and I had, I know you're not sitting down maybe, but 500,000 parts per million. You know what that means? That means it was 50% water and 50% silver. Can you fathom that?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yep.
It was clear. It was clear as water. And Bob Beck walked up the first time I met him, and he goes, "What's this?" I says, "That's 50% silver, 50% water." So he'd remember that, you know. And he says, "No way." I said, "Here, I had some litmus paper. You dip it in there, and it tells you how much silver." So I took the lid off very carefully, and I handed him the litmus paper. He dipped it in there, and it turned jet black. He goes, "Oh my God," he says, "this can't be. This is clear as water, and it's half silver?" I said, "Yes, sir." So he says, "I want you to come to my speech. I'm speaking about silver. Will you come to my speech?" So I showed up at his speech. And, you know, other people when you're competing with them and you're selling something they have, they attack you. They want to beat you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Bob, he says, this guy in the back of the room, Mr. Hinkson, stand up. So I stood up. And he goes, this man right here has silver and and it's clear as water. And he sat there and praised me in front of that audience for like about 10 minutes, you know? And I was just, he's just a good guy.
Well, let me ask you, I've always heard, and I don't know if this applies to your situation, but I know I've read a little bit about this Water Oz business that you created. If you put too much silver in your water or too much silver in your food, does it make your blood blue? Because I've always heard the blue bloods, right? They had too much.
It does, but mine doesn't. Mine. I drank gallons of it at 100 parts per million, and I have a tinge to my skin that some people notice it, but it's not real noticeable.
Gotcha.
They call me blue in prison because I have the silver in me, but I don't. Look, I've learned a lot of stuff before I made some mistakes. We've all made mistakes. It's like this transformer. We spent $4,000 doing it wrong. We got it right, but here's the point. I discovered something better than the silver. It works better than the silver. The copper water is not, my copper water is non-toxic. It removes AIDS in 2 hours. I told my friend Eddie McClendon, he wants to be a minister, that he should take the copper water to Africa and cure people while he teaches the gospel. He didn't like that.
Well, no,
he said, that's a stupid idea. He said, look, if they want to get cured, Jesus will cure them. I'm just telling you how the conversation went. But anyway.
No, I think it's a great idea. Was that the factory that got burned down? Was that developing copper water?
Yes. But now Guy has it, and Eddie McClendon has it, the Christian guy.
Gotcha.
See, the reason I say Christian is Eddie's black.
Gotcha.
Okay.
This call is from a federal prison.
Met him at Atwater. He's like 6'5". He's a black guy, and he speaks in tongues. And I met him at church. He's a born again, and I met him at church. But anyway, Eddie has my office building. My father gave him the keys to my office building. I still own an office building, and Eddie next week is going to start selling copper water. But Guy already has some copper water.
Well, if Eddie starts selling copper water, are they going to put him in ADX Max with you? Because it sounds like anytime you...
I don't know, but here's the point. The reason I started making these minerals was to pay for the airtime. It was $10,000 a month to be on the Worldwide Christian Radio Network.
Yeah.
Bill Cooper was paying $10,000 a month to be on there. His book was a good seller. That's why he could afford it,
Yeah.
But here's the point. I didn't think I was going to find the cure for the common cold when I went on the air. It just sort of happened. So I went off the air, and I just started going around the world speaking to the Doctors Without Borders, mostly. I've spoken in Ukraine, Russia, South Africa, Swaziland. I've been all over, man. And I had interpreters. But here's the point. John Wells right now could use the copper water to promote his airtime. This is why one of the reasons I'd love to offer this to Mr. Wells. And if you wanted to do a talk show, Guy right now wants to do a talk show. There's a 99% profit in this copper, and it really does work. So my way of selling it is this. I offer free samples. I say, we have reports that it does this, this, and this. Would you like to sign up for a free a clinical, and we will give you a free gallon. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And we send people this stuff, and they have to have it the rest of their lives. They can't live without it once they get it.
Yeah. Incredible.
You know what I mean?
No, it sounds absolutely incredible. One of the things I definitely want to go deeper with you on is this Swisher guy, because what they say that you hired him to murder someone. That's a very common tactic of the FBI. They didn't just use that on you; they use that on other people too.
Well, Swisher was convicted of the same perjury, and he went to prison for a whole month.
Yeah, a whole month.
But,
yeah.
Mr. Swisher was released by the judge that they said I hired him to go kill.
Incredible.
And the judge, they said I hired him to go kill. Not only was he a Mormon, like Swisher, but he's the one that did Ruby Ridge, and he's the one that arrested Hanson up there in Idaho when they diesel therapy that congressman and broke his kneecaps.
Did you say Paul Hanson? It beeped out. Did you say Paul Hanson?
Yeah, Mr. Hanson was a congressman, and he was diesel therapy.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with that.
He wrote a book called "Harass My People." To harass my people. So I interviewed all these different people over the years, you know, like Bill Benson. We're at a time.
It cut him off midstream. That was a very interesting first phone call with David Hinkson. And he said he doesn't mind me putting it up on the internet. He has no secrets. I pray to God that the prison doesn't retaliate and take his communication privileges away. I don't know if he'll call back or not, but he's got a lot to say, and he certainly sounds like a very interesting guy. And everything I've read or learned about his case was that he was set up by a crooked judge, and this guy that was a valor thief that claimed to be a North Korean veteran lied about David Hinkson, and the jury took the word of this Swisher guy that's a known pathological liar. Not only is he a known pathological liar, but he's a child molester. So, very interesting. All right, well, if he calls back, I'll do a second one, but we'll stop this here. Oh, two other things. If you want to learn about David Hinkson, you can go to davidhinkson.info, or you can go to Year of Jubilee, and we've created a page for him. And there's a book that's been written by his father, but it sounds like they've had a falling out, and he doesn't have a close relationship with his father anymore, which is heartbreaking. I hate to hear that. All right, take care. God bless.